Hi, mathletes. Today we're going to simplify fractions. And I thought it might be fun to do a little puzzle. So here's my puzzle. And as we're working through it, I'll explain how this puzzle works. So what we're going to do is we're going to find fractions that are equivalent, and some of them are going to be in simplest form. So let's start with our first fraction up here. We have 10/14. And I know that 10/14 is not in simplest form because they have common factors. First of all, I know that they're both even, which means that they do have a common factor of 2. So what we can do is we can divide both the numerator and denominator by 2. So I like to say that I'm going to use the big 1 because 2 divided by 2 is equivalent to 1. When the numerator and denominator are the same, remember it's 1. And anything divided by 1 is itself. So I'm not changing the value of 10/14. I'm just putting it into a simpler form. So now I'm going to divide my numerator by 2 and my denominator by 2. So 10 divided by 2 is 5, and 14 divided by 2 is 7. So the simplest form of 10/14 is 5/7. So now I'm going to look over here at my puzzle, and I'm going to try and find 5/7. Oh, here it is. So I'm going to connect 10/14 to 5/7, but I have to use straight lines. I cannot use diagonals, and I can't have more than one line in a box. So here's my line. Notice I'm doing straight lines. I'm not using a diagonal, and one line per box. Now here's the next one. Let's look at 2/4. And I know that 2/4 is 1/2. I just knew that one because it's a very common one. But if you didn't, you probably noticed that 2 and 4 both have 2 as a common factor. So we can use the big 1 and divide them both by 2 divided by 2. Again, we're not changing its value. We're just putting it in a simpler form. 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 4 divided by 2 is 2. So it's 1/2. So now I'm looking at my puzzle for 1/2. Uh-oh, I don't see 1/2, which means they must have another fraction that's equivalent to 1/2, but not in simplest form. So let's see if we can find it. Oh, I see 3/6. I think that is 1/2. Let's try. So 3/6, we'll divide it by the big 1. So I noticed that 3 and 6 both have 3 as a common factor. So my big 1 is 3 divided by 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 6 divided by 3 is 1/2. And sure enough, so 2/4 and 3/6 both equal 1/2. So I can draw my line from 2/4 to 3/6. And notice again that they're straight lines, not diagonals. Okay, let's try the next one. The next one is 10/15. I was looking at 3/4, but I noticed that 3/4 is already in simplest form because the 3 and the 4 are next to each other. So when you have numbers that are right next to each other as counting numbers, they're in simplest form. So 10/15. I notice with 10 it ends in a 0 and the 15 ends in a 5. So I know that 5 is a common factor. So let's use our big 1, and we'll use 5 divided by 5, or 5/5. So 10 divided by 5 is 2, and 15 divided by 5 is 3. So 10/15 in simplest forms is 2/3. Oh, 2/3 is way over here. Okay, so again, notice I'm using straight lines and only one line per box. Let's look at 9/12 next. 9 and 12, what do they have in common? Well, 9 is odd and 12 is even, so 2 wouldn't work. But I noticed that 3 is a factor of 9, and 3 is also a factor of 12. So let's divide them by 3 divided by 3, or 3/3. So 9 divided by 3 is 3, and 12 divided by 3 is 4. So 9/12 is the same as 3/4. So let's see if we can see a 3/4. Oh, there's one up there. So again, my straight lines, the 3/4 connecting the 9/12. All right, we have a couple left. Let's look at the 20/25. That's a fun one. Again, it's like my 10/15s, where the 20 ends in 0 and the 25 ends in 5. So I know that 5 is a common factor. So I divide it by 5/5. So 20 divided by 5 is 4, and 25 divided by 5 is 5. So we're looking for 4/5, and there it is, so I can connect it with my straight lines. So 4/12 and 1/3 should go together. Let's see. So 4/12, I noticed that they're both even numbers, so I know that I could divide them by 2. But I also know that 4 also goes into 12. So let's use 4. If I use 2, it would work. I would just have to keep going and do it twice. So 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 4/12 divided by 4 is 3. So 4/12 is 1/3. So you can see that there's just one line per box, and I finished my puzzle. Okay, so here's another puzzle that I'd like you to give it a go. For this one, it's going to be a little tricky drawing the lines. I'm going to warn you for that one. But actually finding the fractions that go together isn't that hard. It's drawing the lines actually that's harder. So you can pause your video here, get a piece of paper out, try this, and then when you're done, you can go to the next screen and you'll see the solutions. I'll go over the solutions with you, but give it a go first. So here's our solutions. Wow, look at these lines. They are a bit crazy. So we had 6/8, and I divided it by 2/2 because I noticed that 2 was in common. So I had my 3/4. 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. So 6/8 and my 3/4. Then I looked at my 8/30, and I divided 8 and 30 both by 2. So 8 divided by 2 is 4, and 30 divided by 2 is 15. And they were right next to each other. So I just had to go up and over. Then I looked at my 5/15. So 5/15, again, they both ended in 5. So I knew that 5 went into both of them. So 5 divided by 5 is 1, and 15 divided by 5 is 3. So 5/15 is 1/3. So when you look at your 5/15, notice the 1/3 was way up here. I actually waited to draw this line till the end because I didn't know which boxes to go through. I had to figure out which other ones to go through. So I had to go through these two, then all the way up over. So I did a lot of zigging and zagging with that one. The next one was 4/6, and I noticed that they were both even numbers, so I divided it by 2/2. So 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 6 divided by 2 was 3. So 2/3. So you look at your 4/6. With this one, instead of going down and over, these two boxes had to be filled as well. So I had to go all the way down and across and up. That's what made this one a little tricky. For the next one, I had 7/14. That one I actually knew in my head because I knew that that was a half. That was one of what I like to call the common ones. So I noticed that 7 was a factor of 14 as well. So 7 divided by 7 is 1, and 14 divided by 7 is 2. So when I looked at my 7/14 and my 1/2, again, I had to zig and zag a little bit for this one because of my 5/15 and my 1/3. Then I had 15/18. This one was a little tricky. I knew that I couldn't use 2 because 15 is odd, so I tried 3. And sure enough, 3 fits into 15 5 times, and 3 goes into 18 6 times. So it was 5/6. So 5/6 went with the 15/18, and I had to make kind of like an S for this one because I had to fill in the boxes. So instead of going down and over like this, otherwise these boxes wouldn't have had lines in them. And then for my last one, I had 5/15. And again, they both ended in 5. So I knew that 5 was a common factor. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. And 15 divided by 5 is 3. And so I went way up there. So you can see that these two went together. I did it twice just to make sure that it worked. So I hope you had fun with these. And it was a fun way to simplify fractions. And if you enjoyed this, check out some of my other videos because I think they're all so fun. As always, thanks for watching.